We have to watch that. Thank you for joining us on Lewis University's news source, LUTN-TV. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2016. I'm Isabel Munoz.
I'm Megan Glavick.
And here are your top stories for today. The showers we've been experiencing all day may be a sign of what's to come sooner rather than later. Punxsutawney Phil didn't see his shadow this morning in Pennsylvania. 2 other groundhogs in Georgia and New York concur with Punxsutawney Phil and say that spring will be here soon. This is the 18th time that Punxsutawney Phil hasn't seen his shadow. Officials say not to put your coats away just yet, as a few years ago, the groundhog didn't see his shadow, but a snowstorm did blow through the East Coast.
Chicago Public Schools have announced their bargaining deal with the Chicago Teachers Union has been declined. A 40-member bargaining team unanimously declined the offer. The offer was intended to help create better job security and prevent any mid-year layoffs. Teachers were also asking that class sizes be preserved. In exchange for a pay raise, teachers would then have to pay a portion of their health insurance and contribute more to their pension fund. Teachers could strike as early as May 16th, after negotiations move into the fact-finding phase. Chicago Public Schools teachers have been working without a contract since June.
According to a poll conducted by the Chicago Tribune, Mayor Rahm Emanuel's approval ratings have hit an all-time low. Emanuel now has a record 63% disapproval rate, much higher than the 33% rate he had in March. A majority of Chicago residents find the mayor dishonest and untrustworthy after the way he handled the release of the Laquan McDonald video. Emanuel tried to prevent the release of the police video, which showed McDonald being shot by an officer. More than 2/3 of participants in the polls, and Emanuel's actions was not justified. Luckily for Emanuel, majority of the participants in the poll said Emanuel didn't need to resign.
Sandra Bland's family is asking a Texas judge to reject the state's arguments to keep her arrest records from them. Texas state lawyers claim that the files can be kept private in active investigations. The family also filed a lawsuit against the police department after Bland's death. State lawyers say that Texas has protection from damages in this case. The most recent motion to have the files released was made last Friday. Sandra Bland's death was ruled suicide by a medical examiner in 2015.
The start of the year has been the deadliest for Chicago in the last 16 years. In January, close to 280 people were shot and 50 were killed. The number of shootings has doubled since last January. These high numbers are usually seen in the summer when violence peaks. The timing of this violence comes at a very stressful time for the Chicago Police Department as it deals with the fallout from the Laquan McDonald shooting.
When we come back, we'll have the results of the Iowa caucuses.
We'll also have more on the seminarian who's being accused of inappropriate relations with infants. Stay tuned.
Kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Time to wake up. I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget forget you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom. I got the job. Thanks.
Got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
My name is Brother James Gaffney, president of Lewis University, and you're watching LUTN, so thank you.
Caucuses. Senator Hillary Clinton finished just a few votes ahead of Bernie Sanders. Despite Sanders claiming a victory, Clinton was officially declared the winner. Clinton previously had lost in the state of Iowa. The two now move on to New Hampshire, a state where a majority of the favoritism lies with Sanders. Clinton says that she is excited to move next to New Hampshire with this win under her belt, saying she has both won and lost in the state. New Hampshire's primary will take place on the 9th.
A 23-year-old seminarian was arrested at San Diego Airport. Joel Wright, a resident of Ohio, was studying to become a priest and had traveled to San Diego to meet with a tour guide from Tijuana, Mexico, he had previously spoken with through Craigslist. Once undercover officials took over the email account, Wright admitted to participating in sexual acts with infants and the desire to adopt or own a child under 3 years old and have intercourse with them. Wright was charged with 2 felony counts, crossing state lines with the intention to engage in a sexual act with a minor, and attempting to travel in, quote, interstate and foreign commerce, end quote, for the purpose of engaging in illegal sexual conduct with another person.
Late last night, a university in New York held a rally following a vicious bus attack. Students at the State University of New York in Albany rallied against the attack that left 3 black female students injured. According to officials, the students were attacked by a group of white men and women during a confrontation on the bus over the weekend. The women claim a group of 10 to 12 white men and women physically assaulted them on the bus in addition to verbally attacking them using racial slurs. Authorities are still reviewing cell phone videos captured of the incident and working to identify the individuals involved. According to a university statement, the rally Monday night was to demonstrate the university's commitment to promoting a campus community of acceptance and inclusion. While there is currently no evidence of continued threat, campus police have assigned additional security to ensure campus safety.
A 44-year-old prison teacher who was arrested on suspicion of helping 3 prisoners escape a California jail was released Monday, according to an Orange County prosecutor. Nusha Fareen Ravahi taught an English as a second language course at the Orange County Central Men's Jail. She was arrested last Thursday on charges of accessory to a felony after it was discovered she had provided the inmates with a printed Google Earth image that showed the jail's layout. Ravahi was released because of insufficient evidence. She was, however, made to turn in her passport until the investigation of the jailbreak is complete.
New developments have been made in the murder and abduction of a 13-year-old girl. 2 students from Virginia Tech have been charged in Nicole Lovell's death. David Eisenhower has been charged with murder and abduction, while Natalie Keepers has been charged for being an accomplice and helping Eisenhower dispose of the body. Police say Eisenhower may have known the 13-year-old personally and used that to advantage her. Eisenhower and Keeper were arrested shortly after Lovell's body was discovered, and Keepers was arrested.
North Korea is again grabbing attention after another controversial announcement. Stay tuned.
Same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Free tips to help you save money too. Feed the pig.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything,
It is I, Cruz Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
My name is Brother James Gaffney, president of Lewis University, and you're watching LUTN, so thank you.
Today, North Korea announced a plan to launch an observation satellite on a rocket between February 8th and February 25th. This announcement comes just weeks after their fourth nuclear test. International defense experts are concerned that this launch could possibly be a test of banned technology that is being made to look harmless. Daniel Russell, a top diplomat of East Asian relations, stated the U.S. is following North Korea's claims closely. Last month, North Korea prompted diplomats to push for new sanctions after the country announced they had tested a hydrogen bomb.
Zika virus is a public health emergency of international concern. Officials are most concerned about pregnant women infected with the virus. The virus can cause a rare neurological condition which prevents full development of the brain. This then leads to babies being born with abnormally small skulls. This neurological condition can't be specifically tied to the Zika virus, but is present in all 20 countries that have been reported to having the Zika virus.
The United Kingdom has announced advancements in its dream to be allowed to genetically modify human embryos. This dream came true on Monday when the UK was given the okay to go ahead and genetically modify human embryos. This is a small event for many countries, but for the UK it's huge as it's the first time in the nation's history. This makes it possible for scientists to do research by changing DNA of human embryos. It's still only for research and is legal to plant genetically altered embryos into women.
Myanmar's first freely elected parliament in 50 years has held its opening session. Hundreds of new members have taken the parliamentary seats, with the majority of the seats belonging to members of the National League for Democracy Party. One of the first items on the agenda for the new parliament will be to choose a new president after current leader the Singh steps down of the end of March. The current president of the National League of Democracy, Ms. Suki, is unable to run for president due to a constitutional cause that prevents anyone with foreign children from running. Suki's sons are from Britain. Despite this, the current members of parliament are assured that they will work for human rights, democracy, and peace.
World's top chef Benoit Volier was found dead in his Switzerland home late Sunday afternoon. Violet was the owner of restaurant Hotel de Ville, which was awarded World's Best Restaurant in December. At this point in time, the police are ruling Violet's death a suicide. Violet died just one day before the 2016 ratings came out for his restaurant, which did receive the highest rating. Violet was 44 years old.
So kind of quite a bit of rain today.
Yeah, it's a little foggy outside. We're not having the best day, but if you're going to go outside, I'd definitely recommend taking an umbrella.
Great. We'll have more on that when we come back.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh, yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh, no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
My name is Brother James Gaffney, president of Lewis University, and you're watching LUTN, so thank you.
Hello, Lewis University. I'm Connor Ford with the news. As you can see from our WeatherBug app, it's a little bit cloudy outside today. So why don't we move on and see what else is in the weather. It's literally cute. Okay. As you can see, it's going to be in the 30s all around the Joliet area. In Indiana, it's in the upper 30s, 39, 37. DeKalb's running around 37, and O'Hare's in 36. In Chicago, even though it's by the lakefront, it is a little warmer. Very odd. And in national temperatures, down in Miami, it's 82. I'd like to start this weather off on a high note. And in San Antonio, it's only 40 degrees. New Orleans, 45. Up in Boise, in this area, it's in the 20s and 30s. And over by us, as we said, it's in the 30s, just all around us in all the states. The photo of the day is from one of our aviation students. We're showcasing like our major program. And you can go ahead and share your photo at #LewisU on any of the social media apps, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And in the next few hours, as of 8 p.m., it's going to be around 46, and it's still going to be cloudy, maybe a little bit of rain. And then as it gets later at night, it's going to cool down to around 40. But by tomorrow, it should be 36 again. It'll be a little cloudy still for the next few days, but the wind and the rain should die down. And for the 7-day forecast, as of Wednesday, still cloudy, still a little chilly in the 38s, not too much wind, but a chance of rain. And then on Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy, so, I mean, sun's coming out, that's always great, with no wind and just no chance of rain either. And then as we're moving along, it gets sunnier until it gets to Saturday, where there's very little clouds. Definitely looking forward to that as it's a day off. But the wind will pick up to around 11 miles per hour, and there won't be any rain. Sunday, it's going to be pretty much cloudy. There's not going to be much sun. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're going to come back into the rain. And that's going to be unfortunate because it's also going to get a little colder around that time. And the wind's going to pick up a bit.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully it'll even out pretty soon. I know we're almost through the winter and it hasn't been that bad, so
yeah,
it's
not
actually
too much snow recently. That's
yeah,
nice.
Thankfully. Oh my gosh, I know. So anyway, moving on to sports. Emily, you're here with some good news about the women's basketball team. I heard they won.
Yeah, the women's basketball team did win against McAndrew this past Friday, so it's turning out to be a good season for the Flyers.
Great. We'll have more with that when we come back.
contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
My name is Brother James Gaffney, president of Lewis University, and you're watching LUTN, so thank you.
The Lewis women's basketball team secured their 20th win of the season against McKendree this past Friday. Senior Mariah Bronner-Henley almost scored half of the team's points in the second half to close out the back-and-forth game. Freshman Jessica Kelleher led the team in scoring with 19 points, but McKendree wouldn't let up as there were 11 lead changes in the game. To pull out the win, the Flyers finished strong by taking care of the ball with no turnovers in the final 5 minutes of the game. The Flyers return on Thursday, February 4th to face Rockhurst at the Neil Carey Arena. Lewis men's volleyball had back-to-back games against Grand Canyon this past Friday at the Neil Carey Arena. The Flyers dominated with a sweep in the first matchup, led by junior Wise Kircher and freshman Julian Moses, who each finished with 11 kills. Grand Canyon came back strong the next day by answering with a sweep of their own. Freshman Mitch Perinar led the team with 20 kills, but Lewis couldn't keep up. Their next matchup is against Quincy in the Pepsi Arena on February 5th. Bulls fans will be a little disappointed after last night's loss to the Utah Jazz. The Bulls were led by Jimmy Butler, who scored 26, but that wasn't enough. The Bulls fell flat and lost 105-96. Despite pushing the game into overtime, the Bulls were only able to score 3 points. The Bulls will take on the Sacramento Kings tomorrow night. This past weekend, the best in hockey traveled to Nashville, Tennessee to take part in the NHL All-Star Game. The Pacific Conference took on the Atlantic Conference, with the Pacific Conference winning 1-0. John Scott of the St. John's Ice Caps was named the most valuable player of the game, with fans chanting MVP every time he stepped on the ice.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Emily, for that report. It's always good to hear some good news, especially for the basketball team, and hopefully those matchups turn out well for Lewis. And Connor, thank you so much for doing the weather. Yes, thank you so much for doing the weather. Hopefully there's a warm-up somewhere in there.
I hope so.
I know. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's it for today's news. I'm Isabel Munoz.
I'm Megan Glavick.
I'm Connor Ford with the weather.
And I'm Emily Moshak with sports.
Have a great night. I called you.